Hello, folks. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, it's 2:45 on the 21st of June, 2020. That's the time and date sorted. Good. Well, that's the first point in most videos that I do, I suppose. Yeah, I've done a few videos. I'll probably use this one as a bit of a catch-up because I've done a few videos recently that I've then cancelled. I didn't know how to title them, and I just couldn't be bothered in the end. So I just got rid of it. So I'll go over a few of those points. There's actually two videos I did that I then cancelled. So I didn't really know what to do. And one I waffled a bit towards the end, so I thought, right, cancel that. But the first one I cancelled, I was talking about the fact that with all this Black Lives Matter stuff, and go away from the demands of Black Lives Matter, the organisation, but all the protesting and people thinking that life is so bad today, and trying to get rid of statues of the past and stuff like that. People don't think enough of the fact that they were born in a time when we have so many benefits. So many things are so much better now than they ever were. Ever were. Housing is so much better because we now have proper double glazed windows. We have windows that actually keep the cold out. And actually you can open those windows in the summer to let a lot of the warmth in your house out. You can let the breeze in to cool you down. Some houses, well, most houses, I would assume, although probably not so. No, some houses would say that. Some houses have got central heating. They've got a central heating system that they can be timed. Which, of course, never had in the 17th century, 18th century, even 19th century. Those things did not exist. And you've got far better bedding, far more comfortable seating arrangements for your home. You've got entertainment systems that are far better than anything people could have imagined in the 16th, 17th, or 18th centuries. Those people had nothing. They didn't even have record players in those days. They had nothing. Really, they had to go and pay a fair bit of money to go to a show. And these shows would have been quite expensive. It would have been quite poor. The acting wouldn't have been great. Whereas we can go on Netflix and we can access hundreds of thousands of TV programs or movies. The newest movie is made. We can go to the cinema to watch it, or we can wait a few weeks, download it, or we can just buy it on Blu-ray and watch it in the comfort of our own homes. Travel. If I need to travel 50 or 100 miles, I can do so. Get in my car, drive. It might take a couple of hours. How long would it have taken someone in the 16th century to do that? What about traveling abroad? Get in your car, drive to an airport. You can go to faraway countries that would have taken a week or two to get to, and it can take 5-6 hours to get there now. Differences are immense. What about the point of living till 50 years old? Well, nowadays, I saw something earlier which talked about the fact that, with this Rona situation, there were people in the hundreds. The oldest one was about 113 who survived getting coronavirus. 113 this woman was. She's alive at 113. Jeez, 113 years being alive. That's incredible. But what about even 50? You go back to the 16th, 17th, and 18th century. It would have been rare for people to live to their 50 or 60. That would have been rare. Incredibly rare. Incredibly rare to live to 100. That's why in the UK you'd always get a letter from the Queen on your 100th birthday. Nowadays, that's becoming a sort of common everyday occurrence now. Yeah, the amount of letters that the Queen is sending out is immense now. Even her husband is approaching that 100 now. So he'd be getting a letter from his wife. He'd be getting an official card from his wife. All right. So today we live in a time which is, we are far more blessed. We have a simple, easy life. Because even the fact of childbirth, yet nowadays families may have 1, 2, maybe 3 children. Some will have more. But you're pretty much guaranteed now, not a certainty, but pretty much guaranteed now, that if you're pregnant, you will have a child and that child will live a good, long, healthy life. That was never the case in the 16th, 17th, and 18th centuries. Families would have 13, 14, 15, 16 children. Because the majority of those children would die young or in childbirth. So you've got the likes of George Floyd. He may have been one of those children he may have been born instead of when he was born. He may have been born in the 17th century and died during childbirth. So the fact he got to live 40 odd years is a good thing. That's a positive. The fact he was born at a time when things are better. Yeah, it was awful what happened to him. But guarantee you something, folks. What was going on by abusive people in the 16th, 17th, and 18th century was far worse. Far worse. Don't kid yourself. We are lucky to be born at the time we are born in. Very lucky. Even the young generation, I've said in videos I wouldn't want to be young now because they have one heck of a challenge. They really do. Yeah, because society is at a point now where it's pretty hopeless. And the reason why it's hopeless is because we've pretty much got everything we could have wanted. And there's still so much lacking. Yeah, look at the spiritual for maybe what is lacking. But you have a whole young generation of people that have got to try and develop a future in a time when futures are looking so much worse now than they have for at least 50, 60 years. Yeah, that if you're in your 30s, the chances of you having a job that's going to last you for the rest of your working life is incredibly slim. The chances of you buying your own home at all is incredibly slim compared to what it was for people 30, 40, 50 years ago. It's very, very tough now. Certainly in those areas, it's tough now. Yeah, blame Thatcher. Certainly for the UK, blame Thatcher, blame Reagan, blame whoever you want to blame for America, and blame Gorbachev for Russia, blame whoever you want to blame. In the end, the reality is what it is. Yeah, apportioning blame is not really going to help the situation, but if you want to blame someone, blame whoever you want to blame. That's the reality of the situation. But even for them, even for them, life is far better now than it would have been had they been born in the 16th, 17th, or 18th centuries. So, yeah, be grateful. Be grateful for the fact that you weren't born then. That's the first point to start from. Then look at your life now. And the way you're going to look at your life is going to be different because you started off with a positive, and now you're going to look at your life in a slightly different way because you're looking at it from the point of view of being thankful you were born now for the things that you have now. So try that. The second thing I spoke about that I cancelled was it was on this Vice News Today or Tonight thing. Vice News Tonight, I think the program was called. And they were talking about the fact that the court chronographers weren't really taking down a lot of the things that African American people were saying because the African American people have their own slang and their own language, which of course was not being understood in court. And again, that came across as a rather stupid thing and something which really that community needed to deal with. This is another thing where that community is basically expecting everyone to bow down to them. And so, excuse me, take it from even a position of someone in the UK. If someone from Wales decided to only speak Welsh, which they could, it is a language, they could do that. If they only spoke Welsh, they didn't learn English, yet they went to a British court, they wouldn't be represented very well at all because nobody would really understand much of what they were saying, if anything at all. That would be their choice. Guess what, though? The people in Wales learn Welsh and they learn English. They learn Welsh so that when they're with people that speak Welsh, they can speak Welsh. But when they're with people that can't speak Welsh, they can still communicate with them. The problem is you have a community of people who are basically saying we wanted to create our own language. We wanted to segregate ourselves to the point where we even have our own flipping language. That's right. Right. Yep. Okay. That is true indeed. You want to do that? You can do that. That is absolutely your choice. But then don't whinge and moan when the system, the American system, doesn't understand you. You are responsible for that, no one else. Don't expect for court chronographers to have to learn African American language. That is not going to happen. There will be pushback to all of this stuff. And of course, all this is coming out of the George Floyd situation. An officer does something out of order, so of course you get all this crazy stuff coming out. That's why, Black Lives Matters. There's no point going into them because their demands. They're an extreme leftist organisation, and anyone who listens to my videos knows how I feel about extreme left and extreme right. I have no patience for any of them at all. So that was another thing that I tried to do a video on but cancelled it because again that was the one where I thought, well, how do I title this? I've got to give this a title, so what title do I give it? And I didn't see it as worthy of a title. So it can go in this one, the catch-up one. Foot-wise, toe still there. Still painful. I still can't kick a ball. Stuff like I can walk now, so that's good. I can use it in that way, but I can't kick a ball or anything like that. There's still a lot of pain in the area of where the big toe bends. So, for now, I still need to rest it. as much as is possible, really. That's cool. So yeah. Oh, the other thing, I watched something the other day on YouTube, which was quite sweet. It was Americans reacting to British programs, and they were watching some of the more extreme programs that were done. I think everything they watched was done on Channel 4, which is certainly was at that point in time. We're talking about programs that were done a good 20 years ago now. But they were a bit more extreme at that time. So they watched The In-Betweeners, which was a brilliant program. It was a great program at the time because it showed teenagers for the bumbling, try hard, foolish, nearly adults that they were. Very clever, very funny. But then they watched something else that I'd never seen before called Naked Attraction. I was like, okay, never seen this. So I thought, download it. So I look at a few episodes. And I've got to say, fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Because Naked Attraction is where you basically have, it could be a male or a female choosing that's single and needs to find somebody. So they have 6 males or females in these cubicles that have this coloured glass sort of door in front of them that comes up bit by bit. And so they're all naked. The person who isn't naked at this point is the person who's looking for a partner. That person is dressed for now. That person gets undressed later once they've chosen the last 2 out of the 6. But then they get to choose who they like based more or less completely on figure. The first thing they get shown is the crotch area. And so the first bit of judgment they get is on that. Yeah, I think it's shortly after that, I think they get to see the door raised up again to show the chest area. And then the first person is voted against and saying, this is the person I want to leave first. So that person gets kicked out. And then they show the face as well as the rest of the body. So they bring the door up a bit further to show the face. Then someone else gets kicked out, and then someone else gets kicked out, and then they hear the voice. They get the people to speak, and then the last person's kicked out. So now left with 2. But yeah, they go all over the body and say, oh, this is what I like about the body, and this is what I don't like about the body, blah, 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 blah. But what is quite fascinating is that when you look at the people's choices, quite often, they choose the one who has the best body. But they don't necessarily choose the one who has the best personality for them. So if they didn't see any of that, even the face, but they just spoke to the person on a walkie-talkie or a phone or something like that, where all they got was their voice, all they got was their personality coming through, they would probably pick someone completely different. And yeah, I found that quite interesting because it's like, okay, that's a new, different way of doing it. And as an experiment, it's quite interesting to see who these people choose. But 1 second, I've got to get the doggies. The doggies heard a bit of a noise there, so they started barking, so I had to go and deal with that. But yeah, as I say, that Naked Attraction was a different way of seeing things. I mean, although it's sexual, it's not really. And it really isn't. It's just looking at the human body. Not really sexual at all. But still quite fascinating. The way they were picking, and even the way that you see these 6 individuals, and their bodies are all very, very different. Very, very different in every aspect. And it's like, okay, that's quite interesting. Yeah. Right. I mean, because generally speaking, you don't see that in society because everyone's dressed. So when you see somewhere everyone's undressed, it's like, okay, rightio, okay, interesting. And yeah, even you sort of you look at the people in a different way. Then again, you say which one would I pick based on that, and again, you often pick the same one that they would pick. So when it's a male picking the female, I would often go for the same female as the person choosing would then pick. Because I'm looking purely at the body and saying, well, okay, that body is more attractive to me. But if I look at just the face and what you can see from the personality coming through, it would have been one of the other ones I would have picked, just based on that. So that was when, to me, it got interesting. Because you see the vaginal area, then you see the boobs, then you see the face. And as soon as you see the face, it's like, oh, right, okay. Right, so I wasn't going to pick that person beforehand. But actually, now that person is really in contention because the smile. Yeah, so purely on neck down, no chance. I wasn't going to go for that lady at all. But then I see the smile, and it's like, ah, well, there you go. That to me is really the factor. I'm going, okay, I'm now waving more towards you than I am towards that person now. But I still ended up deciding, yeah, okay, I'll probably, based upon all of it, because in one of them there was a bloke who had been hurt by his previous girlfriend, and he chose the 21-year-old female who was perfection in every way. She had the perfect butt because this bloke apparently liked butts, so yeah, they had them faced where you could see their butts first. And you see this woman's butt, and you go, "Oh wow, okay, that is spot on." Yeah, you wouldn't argue with that at all. Then you had others big butts, and yeah, it's like, okay, right we go. If that person sat on you, they'd be actually quite comfortable. If the one that he picked in the end sat on you, you'd be like, okay, that's quite small, but it might be a bit bony. But then, of course, you see the rest of her, and again, every single part of this woman was spot on. Yeah. But then you see the face. And her smile wasn't quite as big as the other two girls that were left. Their smiles were far bigger. And you could see with them, this was a 21-year-old, the others were like 27 ish, 29 ish. So they were more mature. And he was looking for someone who wouldn't hurt him. Yet he picked the best looking one, the one that would get all the men's attention. So probably not the one he would have picked had he have just got their personality. He probably wouldn't have gone for her. But there you go. Oh, interesting stuff. So there you go. We're still on lockdown for now. That lockdown will end soon, unless it does. Hopefully, get back to gym. Yeah, I pretty much finished the stones out here now. I finished them pretty much yesterday. There's still a tiny bit more to do, but if we had tons of rain now and I couldn't do the stones again before one of these pups went, I wouldn't be concerned. Yeah, people come to view the pups because most of the nastiness in that area has been dealt with now. Yeah, so that's good. And if the pups poo out there and it needs to be flushed away, it can be flushed away because now all the muck that was firm is now gone. It's all loose stones now. So that's good. So that's an achievement. So that's an improved situation. There you go. That'll do you for now. You take care. God bless. And yeah, if I get a subject to bring, I will bring it. weirdly, I've not bought anything really Christianity related or strong Christianity related subject for a while now. I think partly because of all this, cop killing brown people has sort of got in the way of that, as well as coronavirus. So hopefully the channel can get back to what it's supposed to be doing videos for. Well, we'll see what happens. You take care. God bless. And I will speak to you soon. Bye bye.